Hi Sagittarius. I am doing your reading for the week. So we're on the full moon today, the 23rd of May. So it's the last week of May this reading is going to cover. I'm in a garden. There is a storm coming. I will move if it gets dangerous, but I can hear thunder off to the side. Slightly crazy lighting, sorry about that. Hopefully the audio is listenable too. I'm doing a spread for you that's about development that I wrote this week, so I'm going to refer to my notes because I don't remember every bit of wording properly yet. I found out the cards. Actually, sorry, let me just cut these first. Yeah, I'm not in my normal, well, I sort of not in my normal place. I am, do you hear that? With the Knight of Swords. That's so funny, he flipped out. It's exciting. He's like the storm flying in. So I'm just going to cut the cards. Yeah, so I'm in this garden. I'm not always here. This is where my partner lives. So forgive me if it's not perfectly set up. But anyway, let's have a go. So the first question we're going to ask is, in what ways is Sagittarius excelling in life at the moment? That's so Sagittarian. Three of Cups. And how can Sagittarius be kinder to themselves? Two cards popped out. The Ace of Wands and the King of Pentacles. And the next question is, in what areas of life are there improvement for Sagittarius? Could there be, what areas are there room for improvement for Sagittarius at the moment? We've got the Page of Cups. And how could Sagittarius bypass or work with any resistance that they have to improving this situation of the Page of Cups? How can you work with that resistance? Wow, that's interesting. The two fives, Five of Pentacles and the Five of Cups, they both wanted to come out. How can you bypass or work with any of the resistance? That's really interesting. And what message is there to lessen any fear or anxiety you have about change this week? The Star and the Eight of Wands. Why are you getting so many doubles? It's weird. This hasn't happened on any of the other readings. Nice. That would lessen my resistance. So that's how to, let's move these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 more to go. What natural qualities or assets does Sagittarius have to support themselves at this moment? Very good. 7 of Pentacles. And what image could Sagittarius hold in their mind this week that would almost be like a vision board to keep you focused on what it is you need to remember to help yourself make changes? So you've got the two party cards here. That's very good. We're in the middle of a storm. That's lovely. Just going to, oops, have to put a book over these. By the way, I don't know if you like reading, whoever's watching this, but Beyond Black, Hilary Mantel. I've had this on my shelf for ages and I brought it with me here. And it's about, anyway, I'll talk about it later, but it's about what we're doing now and it's interesting. It's an interesting read, so I mean, it's a brilliant book. I've not finished it yet. I'll let you know what I think next week, but oh my God, it's hilarious, sad, strange, a wonderful work of imagination. Hilary Mantel really was a genius. So that's the image that you can keep in mind to help inspire you in the coming days. And what is the best version of of Sagittarius that they are here to be at the moment, or what are they here to overcome? That's interesting. So you've got the 7 and the 8 of Pentacles. That's lovely. Right, so I'm just going to have an overall look, while as long as the cards don't fly away. So we've got quite a lot of pentacles in the spread. So this might be about physical security. We've got, and it's sort of no swords. So you're not up in your mind. You're not kind of doing that circular thinking. We're probably, this reading is probably about love and work or security. As two wands. So first of all, just going to get this book back. We've got you at the moment as the Three of Cups. This is lovely. It's the card of friendship, celebration, parties. Some people say it's the card of the three fates. These three, the Norse fates. I mean, I tend to read it here as just. So I always try and see what's popping out at me at the moment. It's really strange. The character with her back to me is what I want to talk about. God knows why. Let's see if it kind of comes out a little bit more in the reading. It's like she's the host of the party. She's keeping everybody else going. She's got the other two in her thrall. She's the one that said, come on, let's go out and have a drink. And I think that's you at the moment. I think you're very good at celebrating, and that you are trying to sort of encourage a kind of community atmosphere around you and some fun. So that's lovely. And in what ways could you be kinder to yourself? We had two cards pop up, the Page of Wands and the King of Pentacles. So it might be, while you're having all that fun, that there is a bit of a because he's fun too, the Page of Wands. He's kind of the naughty kid in the classroom, but he is definitely looking at his tip of his wand for some inspiration. I suppose the way you might be kinder to yourself is don't get lost in this collective kind of merry-go-round feeling. I'm just saying that because there seems to be a sort of balance between having fun and speed and a laugh and then working. So I think the way you could be kinder to yourself at the moment is trying to use some of that kind of creative fire, not just to burn out in a party, not just to give to all those that you're entertaining with your great kind of hostess skills, or come on, let's go and do this, or whatever it is. But maybe you could think about how, to be kinder to yourself, you would think about how you could use some of that inspiration to create some security that is represented by this King of Pentacles. That's what's coming to me at the moment. He's sort of looking down. That's how I'm seeing him today. He's sort of not looking disapproving. He looks quite camp actually today. It's interesting. He almost looks like he's got makeup on. He's got a slightly pursed lip look. And maybe he's the sort of representing that paternal figure who's saying, yeah, it's all very well, but could we use some of that to gain some sort of long-term stability? Don't squander all your energy. The other thing that's popping out to me are those two bulls either side of his throne. And then what came to my mind when I saw them was he's kind of saying, I could almost hear him saying, listen, I can be fun too. I can be like a bull in a china shop too. I can use all this wealth that I've created to have a really, really good time. And I haven't repressed any of my desires. And just because I'm being responsible, it's so weird this is coming to me like this. But anyway, this is how it happens. It doesn't mean that... sorry, I have to keep defending the cards. It doesn't mean that responsibility doesn't mean the end of fun. And I think that's why we got the two cards, this sort of frenetic, fun, ADHD type energy of the Page of Wands, who's really creative, inspired by a million ideas coming to his head. But his dad, as it were, or his sort of his inner father figure or an inner kind of authority figure is saying, can we kind of focus that? I'm not trying to squash you. I'm trying to pull out good long-term resources and fun for you. And then in what areas is there room for improvement? We have the Page of Cups. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's why I'm reading this like this. This is another page. It's another a kind of young energy that potentially needs to be tamed because it's an area of improvement. I mean, he can be a bit naive and naive. He's sort of lost in that romantic moment. He's staring at the fish. It's a sort of poetic, very poetic image. And it's a sort of slightly absurd image, which I love. And it's very amusing, is the way I'm seeing it. And, you know, he's completely entranced by it. So I suppose if it's an area for improvement, we're being asked to see if there's any way that you could, I don't want to say grow up, I want to say integrate different sides of yourself, so that you could continue to have more fun, even more fun. This is not about squashing anything, but it's just about being a bit more realistic, because in how can you bypass or work with any resistance you have to improving the situation? We have these two sort of slightly dired down 5 cards, the 5 of Pentacles and the 5 of Cups. And for the 5 of Cups, we would say, stop looking at the spilt cups, turn round, you have 2 cups there that are really, really good. And for the 5 of Pentacles, to these poor urchin children, we would say, look up, there's the window of the church, you just need to find the door, get in. So the question was, how can we bypass or work with any resistance that we have to improving this situation of feeling a little bit naive? I think it's about talking persuasively to your the inner sort of fragile sides to yourself that either feel terrified of being left out of the party, you know, that would be the 5 of Pentacles, the sort of fear of missing out, the fear of exclusion that might be pushing you slightly at the moment into a kind of slightly frenzied sort of immediate short-termist view of things, and then we're also with this sad black cloaked figure who can only see what's spilt. I suppose it's a bit like what I'm saying is that I can imagine that it's coming off really paternalistic. It's like I'm still sort of talking like the page of the King of Pentacles. It's almost an extension to his message, which is just because, you know, because there's those 3 cups that are spilt, a bit like you at the moment being the 3 of Cups. And it feels like, as a way of sort of bypassing a resistance, it's the way you speak to that side of yourself that sort of is almost, in a way, maybe this week, it's only for this week, decided that you just want to have fun and that you don't want to think about more long-term security or more long-term fun. And so if it was the King of Pentacles talking about this card, he would say, look, I know that it sounds like I'm trashing that 3 of Cups side to you, but I'm not. There's plenty of fun to happen still. It's coming once we get you over that white bridge and into the next stage, because you're resisting some sort of change here. And he would also, because there is a danger, I suppose, with all this kind of, because the 9 of Cups is here as well, who's wonderful. He can be a wish fulfillment, but he can also be a bit in denial and using alcohol or kind of fun to kind of mask some feelings that he's got. So as a way of sort of stopping a resistance, it's almost like, firstly, acknowledge there might be something underneath all of that fun that you're hiding, like a fear of missing out, as I said, or a fear of exclusion, or a feeling that you don't quite know your place, and maybe some past or quite recent disappointments that have got you kind of covering up that disappointment and that feeling of being locked out of the church with sort of forced jollity, almost, is what I want to say, with what's on the table here. And so let's talk to those slightly annexed parts of yourself that you might not really want to concentrate on at the moment because it's not much fun. But let's talk to them kindly. Let's get them in the church. Let's get them pivoting round. And also let's acknowledge that there might be some other feelings going on here. Not just be naively looking at the surface and painting kind of over-romanticized pictures about stuff and missing the deeper picture, because it's going to come and bite you otherwise. And so what message is there to lessen my fear or anxiety of change, or, in this situation? I'm just going to move these around so that we don't lose too many cards. So the message here is a lovely one. I think the message here is saying, face all sides of this situation. Don't get lost in the kind of immediate hedonistic experience of sort of potentially suppressing some other voices inside yourself, some other feelings. Because if you can face those feelings, there is, after the tower comes the star. After facing some discomforts, after facing that things might not be built on the right foundations, we have this beautiful, peaceful, balanced card of the star, who is in a really wonderful position in relationship to her unconscious, represented by the water. And she's able to she's so at peace that she's able to pour all this water out. She's got the stars of Venus. I mean, it's a real sense of sort of connection. And then, I don't know if you can see that little pink bird up in the tree. I think the bird is supposed to represent Ibis, and Ibis is supposed to be the kind of generator of the arts, of poetry, of music, of singing, of writing, of drama, of expression. That I suppose the truth is that you can't get to any really sort of deep expression of those of the arts without facing all sides of life. It becomes trivial. It feels sort of less substantial, and I'm talking about that because it's coming with the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is a fast card of all the wands being pointed in the right direction, and it could be the card of writing as well. And so I sort of am seeing that with the Ibis, that what you're being told is, listen, if you're feeling frightened about facing any of these kind of slightly annexed parts of yourself that you might be in denial of, don't, because once you get everything aligned and you're facing all truths, you can be really kind of creative, and it's a very healing time, but also you can be very creative, and this is fun energy. I mean, the Eight of Wands is fast moving. It's all the wands pointing in the right direction. Lots more. It's almost like saying there will be more and more of these parties to come. There will be more and more of these lovely experiences to come. It's not over if you attend to other sides of things. It's life will continue to provide, and you can face more uncomfortable truths. So, and what natural qualities or assets do you have to support you at this time? So, despite this kind of slightly surface feeling that for this week, actually the truth is that you're a really hard worker, and a hard worker that won't give up just because they can't see the harvest coming at the moment. This character, sometimes we say, be careful, he looks like he's got a little smirk on his face now, and I think that's you. I think, because he looks different every time you do a different reading, in my experience, or can do. So what you do have as an asset is incredible discipline, and you're working on a skill, an art possibly, and you're tenacious, and it is giving, it is starting to bear fruit. You've tilled this land and it's starting to really show up. So that kind of might pull you back into thinking about more of these sort of responsible areas that the King of Pentacles wants you to focus on. And if he was here and he was still talking, I'm guessing he'd say, listen, you're brilliant. What you're working on at the moment is fantastic. You have got stamina. You have put the hours in. Don't squander that. Save some of your energy for that final push where you get your harvest, because it's sort of amazing that you've got that and the Seven of Pentacles, so it sort of really emphasizes that side of you to me. And then what image can you work on? Almost like a kind of mood board image that you could keep on in your mind this week to inspire you in the coming days, if you're going to sort of try and balance this idea of creating more long-term stability with the fun. And that's this Nine of Cups. There's more and more fun to come, and this image tells you that it could be a wish fulfillment that you could be working towards, which is wonderful. But if we sort of look at it more like a kind of prism, and we look at all the different aspects of him, the other messages he might be giving you are, look behind that curtain. Don't be naive about what's there. Don't just get in your cups and pretend everything's fine. Let's really celebrate, because we've done all the when we're not in denial, we can really celebrate. And it's also sort of 3 times 3, isn't it? So you started off as the Three of Cups, but as an image, I think what it's saying is there is a bigger prize. There's more fun to be had. There's more, there's, triple the fun. 3 times 3. Have we got any sixes? 3, 6, 9. No. But I like that. It's saying there's 3 times as much fun to be had. The fun never goes away. There's wish fulfillment. If we do the good work of balancing things, remembering that all that work we put into our pentacles, and that we give that as much precedence in our minds. And what's the best version of myself that I'm here to embody, or what am I here to overcome at this time? So this is the card of the Apprentice, who is the 8 of Pentacles, and he's really honed his craft. He's kind of graduated in a way, and he's busy making more and more pentacles for himself. So I think he's the kind of character that the King of Pentacles would really admire, and I think that you are here to harness some of this week. The message that's coming to me is harness some of that energy that you're using for fun, to not forget your amazing creative projects or your way of creating stability for yourself, because then there's going to be 3 times as much fun coming down the line for you, which sounds good. Anyway, I was going to tell you about the Hilary Mantel book. I haven't read the end of it. If you come back next week, I can tell you about it, but it's brilliant, and I would highly recommend it. It's quite dark and weird, but that's what I'm reading at the moment, and I think you might get a kick out of it. It's very funny as well. but and in terms of a resonance for your reading, well, no, read it. I think it's great if you're into books. Anyway, have a lovely week. Bye.